Welcome back, and as you might know, I am looking for the worst plane to fly in War Thunder as a fighter, at least ones with conventional weapons. And some people said, well, just fly the Blenheim. It only has 1.7mm, you're fighting biplanes, it's an absolute boat, and you have no way of killing people. And I said, well, it's 1.3, so it really doesn't matter how bad the vehicle really is. And the 1.7mm hits hard enough when you're fighting something like a biplane, because they are made out of paper mache, wet cardboard, and if you're lucky, it might even have a lawnmower engine instead of a bicycle engine. So overall, this thing doesn't really handle all too well, but it has good turret coverage, and the main firepower is actually on the tail of your plane. Unfortunately, there's still 7mm, and when you're fighting something that isn't a biplane, you might just get your ass torn open. But we're still at 1.3, so most of your enemies are gonna have a whopping 2 minutes of actual playtime until they run into us. Now, we do get set on fire. Luckily, this thing is an absolute flying tank. We set him on fire as well. We switch target to the Fokker. We kill his plane. In a second, there we go, and then we switch on over to the guy that we crit earlier. We absolutely tear his wing off, we repair the plane mid-air, and then of course we go and carry the game. But my recording corrupted, seen by the weird graphics on the screen, but trust me, they all died. We then engage a B3C a little bit later. We turn around in front of them, try to get the guns on target. This way I have 4 7mm instead of just 1, which means that I have 4 times the firepower. And, I mean, it doesn't really do all too much, but we did kill some of his gunners. But I can't really be asked to just fly away from this guy for the rest of the game. So we are just gonna turn around, finish the job with the absolute pinpoint precision of the 1.7mm. And if you aren't aware of it yet, it's all the way on the wingtip. You see that little, you see the bullet casing hole thing, the eject port. You can see the tracer here. It is absolutely abysmal to aim. And again, it's kind of fortunate that we are fighting at 1.3. Most of the guys here don't really know what they are doing. And even if they do, I mean, if they are going to be in actual biplanes, it's not like they can't do all that much. Now we start finishing this P-36. He's just going to turn into us instantly, and I'm kind of forced to take this dogfight. And the issue here is that the P-36 simply just doesn't stall. So I'm kind of forced here to go very aggressive. But we can switch to the gunner, which again is the saving grace of this plane, because we can just kind of hold the trigger down. Eventually we hit him directly in the cockpit. And because everyone here is low level, they all have 1 vitality on their plane. If you hit them in the little toe with a 7mm, it feels like getting hit by a real gun directly on the forehead. They just turn into red mist no matter where you hit them, which is, it's kind of funny. I know that I'm flying at low tier and there's really not much to talk about, but I do think it portrays very well that with these lawnmower engines, the I-15, which is actually pretty maneuverable, the airframe turns very tightly. Without energy, you have no maneuverability. We go head on, we get some hits in, we have to turn out of the way, we almost ram him out of the air. Luckily we don't do so. We're going 400, he is hit a little bit and he stalled out. And of course it's a biplane, he can simply pitch up. But as I always say, there is no maneuverability without energy. At the end of the day, every plane is an energy fighter, whether you like it or not. Now we chase him down. I do really want to kill him right here, because I have that other guy to worry about. Now we get some hits in. We almost rip our wings off, because it doesn't really go over 480. Well, luckily we don't. We go straight back up. He's going to start giving us a little bit of chase. We're going to shoot him with the gunner, while also dodging a little bit, so we literally miss every round. And for now, I'm just going to focus on the B2C F1-12 Plus Supreme, I guess. A little bit of a mouthful. Kind of dodges rounds. He's also stalling out, and his main issue here is that he just can't aim, which is kind of lucky for us, but makes the footage all the more funny as we energy trap another biplane with an absolute oil tanker. We turn in here, we get some hits in, thank you very much. It doesn't do anything because we don't hit his cockpit, and now we don't really have the energy to do it again, because that plane simply doesn't stall out. He's gonna perpetually sit at like 200. I'm gonna try to pitch more time, but unfortunately, it just, you know, it's kind of sketch. We just get over his nose. He managed to nick us once. Now, we are going to be able to use the gunner once, maybe here. But for now, I actually think about pitching in, getting the shot, and doing some damage. Now, unfortunately, I only get a hit. And he actually hit him because of the very far-mounted wing gun. And then we just switch to the gunner, get some more hits in. It does absolutely nothing. And we're just gonna fly away for a little bit. Now from this point, he is hurling a little bit, he is leaking oil and whatever. So he isn't doing very well. Again, we have a little bit of altitude. We're going to use that altitude to just go vertical. And because he is somewhat damaged, he's going to struggle pitching up after us. The thing is that the B3C from the start of the game actually managed to kill our engine. Luckily, we did the same thing to this guy over here, and he is going to die. Now, yes, we turn his plane inside out with the singular 7mm when we hit him anywhere near the cockpit, because we are fighting level 1 pilots and also just level 15 pilots in general. These guys don't have much experience, which is the reason this plane is somewhat viable. Now, yes, I know it's kind of sad to fight these low levels, but at least we're flying an absolute shitboat. And if you want to have fun at low tier, I recommend you to fly something stupid. Don't try to try hard versus these guys. I don't get any reward from it, you know, it doesn't feel good. I kind of feel bad about it, honestly. And this game is hard enough to pick up as it is. So if you are seeing yourself get clapped by the Blenheim in this video, fret not, we all start somewhere. And you just have to get used to the game. I recommend trying a little bit of arcade, there's nothing wrong with it. Just familiarize yourself with the controls, familiarize yourself with aiming, and then slowly climb up the ranks. You don't have to get into a jet tomorrow. You don't have to worry about getting your shiny new toy. Just kind of enjoy the learning process. Well, both, I guess. And just slowly get better. You don't have to go to 4.0 tomorrow. You don't have to fly 6.0 next week. And you don't have to fly top tier next week. And I really recommend you to just slowly get used to this game. It takes forever, I know. But simply just sending in head-ons and trying to get 1-to-1 KDs to kind of grind up the ranks isn't going to give you any like fulfilling reward. It's a waste, really. If you bomb yourself to 11.0, for example, you get your plane that you really wanted. Now you don't know how to use it. You're going to get absolutely rocked. And guess what? You're not going to have any fun in it. You're going to burn out from the game and then realize that this might not be for you. You quit. Well, if you had just started slowly, picked up the game, slowly got better, work your way up the ranks, you might have been better at it. You'll probably have more fun when you get into the higher ranks. But enough of that, let's take a look at this dogfight with the 109C. And these kind of planes, I actually thoroughly enjoy dogfighting for a very simple reason. They are monoplanes that don't turn particularly well, but they also don't have the best engine, so they still are kind of equal with us. We don't have the energy that he does, but we turn a little bit tighter, and we can kind of just float within his circle. Now here he's trying to go a little bit too vertical. He's going too slow. He absolutely kills his turn rate. Because of that, we are able to turn in, and we are just going to turn his pilot inside out. Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to fine-tune my aim. You can see me desperately trying to get the gun onto the cockpit. It doesn't really end up working out. And we are right next to the airfield, and he didn't try to camp it. Did he learn something from this? Maybe. I hope that he's watching it, and I do appreciate the fact that he didn't try to run to the airfield until he was absolutely crippled. In the end, we take his wing off. But isn't this more fun for both parties, where you both try to fight out the game? And I'm not going to pretend I've never done it. But especially when you are learning, using it once or twice to reset a fight, to just give you more of an ability to have longer fights. Because normally maybe you die at the start of the game, you never really get 1v1s. I get it. I'm not gonna shame you for it, but if you're gonna just circle the base for like 20 minutes on end just to win the game, for example, it's not gonna teach you anything. It's the same thing as bombing your way to top tier. The second you get the plane that you were grinding for, you don't actually know what you are doing. You're gonna be frustrated and you're gonna be camping the base again. And if you're gonna be camping the base, are you really playing the game? Because at the end of the day, you're kind of letting the game play it for you. Now we stall out the 109B1. We try to hit his cockpit, not able to rudder into him. We're out of MG rounds. Luckily, we have another turret on the top, and we turn his plane inside out, and he goes back to the hangar. Now for the last kill over here, we have a Bushman Clown in a P26, and I was running away from him for a little bit. I thought just use the gunner. But again, what's the fun in that? We're playing at 1.3, why are we tryharding? So we merge with him, we go vertical. And he's pulling the wrong direction. He should have just tried to pull in here. But he's also stalling out. He doesn't have much control over his plane. And he's probably flying with his mouse, judging from the fact that we are at this tier. And we are able to get the shot in here. But, you know, just not enough pull. We go vertical yet again. And because of that, we now have the ability to start gunning him. Now we get above him. He gets into the dead zone. I'm just trying to energy trap him at this point. And he's gonna pitch up into us here. But because of that, he's actually gonna end up kind of floating behind us. So now we pitch in, we aim up, and I'm just trying to get the gun on target, and eventually he's slow enough and we just set his plane on fire. And there you have it, proof that the Blenheim is not the worst plane in the game, because it is still somewhat usable, even if it's only because of the battle rating. Thank you all for watching, and you'll see me next Monday.